In Ithaca High School, there are many great teachers. A group of these incredible educators that is often missed by most students is the technology teachers that reside in E-Building. Among them is one of the best teachers in the school, Mr. Ian Krywe.
I'm Ian Krywe. I'm a technology teacher here at Ithaca High School.
Born and raised in upstate New York, Mr. Krywe initially didn't intend to become a teacher, even though he comes from a family of them. In high school, he took all of the technology classes that were offered and was interested in video production, which is what he applied to college for. When he wasn't accepted into his top choice school, he changed his path and went to SUNY Oswego for technology education. Many students will agree that they are glad that he did, as his way of teaching and mentoring is superbly unique.
I think the cards fell the way that they should have. So now that I look back, I'm glad things happened the way they did. But I think teaching really is the best of all the worlds because I do have that summer break where I'm not contractually obligated to be here at school or have any responsibilities with school. So I have 2 months a year where I could do whatever I wanted. All in all, it just seemed like a real good fit. I like working with my hands, and being a tech teacher kind of gives me access to skills that I wouldn't normally have in machines and things like that I normally wouldn't have had otherwise.
Having his summers off allows Mr. Krywe to pursue his many interests, such as BMX biking, working on just about anything with an engine, including four-wheelers, dirt bikes, and cars, and his passion for fixing things. As part of the school's ski club program, he is also able to fit his love of skiing into his school schedule. Mr. Krywe has been teaching at Ithaca High School for 9 years now, and in that time he has not only taught his students, but inspired them to work to the best of their abilities. In this time, there have also been some changes in both technology and the structure of the technology department.
So when I first got here, the Project Lead the Way classes were strong, but they're, I'd say, twice as strong now as they were 9 years ago, which is great. I think the school, guidance administration, teachers, students, and parents are much more well educated about the classes, so we're getting the right kids, the right number of kids, and the kids that are coming out of the sequence after the 5th class, or even the 4th, or however far they get, they're going to engineering colleges, they're going into the workforce, whatever they're choosing to do, and they're pretty well prepared for what they're doing. The traditional tech classes, on the other hand, I think they're struggling a little bit more. The printing classes, the graphic design classes that we used to offer, architectural drawing, we used to offer a lot more sections per year than we did. We still have some interest. The classes still run, just not in the numbers or the quantities that they used to. So we still have a large number of kids within the tech program. There's just a shift in interest and a shift in where the kids are going. This past year we had the addition of the TV studio, which is a huge asset. That was a void that in the 8 years prior, we always had the space for the studio, but there was no equipment. There was, stuff was missing. It disappeared over the 10 years that there was no active studio. And it was always kind of a soft spot in my heart that I wanted that to be a studio again. The district in the last 9 years has been very supportive, which is great. A lot of my colleagues who teach in other districts don't have the good fortune that we've had to get new state-of-the-art equipment, and every year almost we can add one new piece of equipment that most schools don't have that are industry standards. So when kids get out, they can say, hey, I've used a laser cutter, I've used a 3D printer, I've used a CNC router, I've used a Bridgeport mill with CNC interface. That's stuff that I can't think of any friends who teach tech can say that they have all that stuff in their facilities. So that's how I've seen it change.
Mr. Krywe teaches several classes in the Project Lead the Way, or PLTW series of courses, from the intro class, Design and Drawing for Production, to Principles of Engineering, and finally the senior capstone course, Engineering Design and Development. Since he teaches several sequential courses, he has an opportunity that few teachers have, to get to work with students throughout their high school career, and to watch and help them develop. This, combined with his outgoing and engaging personality, results in him becoming as much a friend as a teacher to many students. Among some of the many things he does for the school and for his students, Mr. Krywe is the faculty advisor for the high school's first robotics team, WRED Robotics.
WRED Robotics, it's a robotics team through the first organization here at Ithaca High School. There's teams all over the world, and we have I'm going to describe it as a very successful and very large robotics team. Got here, and there's all these clubs. There's TSA, Technology Student Association, the robotics team, and all these other different clubs that were offered at the school, and I was kind of overwhelmed with the size of the school, with it being almost 4 times the size of my school. There was this robotics team that I saw as just this wacky bunch of kids that would meet in the wintertime and loved robots and loved computers, and I didn't really understand it at all. No one really was chomping at the bit to be the head advisor, and the program probably would have disappeared or something. So I said, you know what, I'll take this over. Found a replacement for TSA. I jumped into WRED, and the first year I didn't really know what I was doing, what I was getting myself into. I knew that there was a good mentor and adult support base of parents behind me, so I wasn't totally lost and had a lot of help. Mr. Briegel helped out a lot with just making sure I knew what I was doing. And now I think I'm in my 5th or 6th year of this, and I think I have a good handle on what's going on. I think the team is strong and growing in the ways that it needs to. The kids that come out of the program, I see the change that they've undergone and the love and appreciation they've developed for engineering. More than robotics, I think. That's the important part. And the skills that they develop and take with them for whatever they're doing after high school, that's what keeps me going.
All in all, Mr. Krywe epitomizes the ideals of teaching. He is invested in his students and gets great joy from seeing them excel. He also coaches them through any failure, showing them how to rebound and learn from it. His influence goes well beyond the classroom of now, and is sure to impact the world of tomorrow.